Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News on 3FM and 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kesmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Gardens and their wards continue to inundate school placement center in search of SHS placement. We're live for the details.
She's 15. The school she chose, they didn't even give her one. They sent her to home as a day student. I mean, a 15-year-old child cannot be on her own.
I have to be at the workplace, but see where I am today, just because I want to make a simple correction.
Also coming up on the program, Rights Group demands action from Gender Ministry over suspected case of abuse against a 3-year-old who is battling for her life. And much later on the program, newly nominated Chief Justice Paul Bafoboni pledges to run open administration, deepening collaboration between the bench and the bar. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Now, hundreds of Ghanaians and their ward continue to throng the Solutions Center of the computerized school placement system in search of senior high school placement. Throughout the week, the center at the Nat Hall has been flooded with parents lodging complaints about their children's placement, hoping to secure schools of their choice. Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, during a visit to the Ministry of Education on Wednesday, directed that urgent steps be taken to address the recurring concerns and ensure a smoother placement process in the future.
I know you are doing your school placement and you have all kinds of people besieging, if not your offices, your homes, your phones, and all of them. What can we do? Let's just try very politely to explain the situation. What we tried to do then was to create more A schools with the E-blocks. And that's one of my regrets, that we were not able to implement all of it, to run the whole system, to demonstrate that, yes, you can have more A schools. And it doesn't matter whether they are boarding or D, but the rest, they say, is history. We'll pick up from where we are, and with everybody's support, we'll do the best we can.
And you heard the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. Let's speak to Noura Mohammed, who is reporting, actually told us earlier that long queues continue to form at the Solutions Center with frustrated patients struggling to resolve the ward's challenges. Noura, if you can hear me, what's the situation now?
Yes, Beatrice. So at the moment, lots of parents have expressed frustration with the Resolution Center in that they have been here for several days and are yet to be attended to. Some have been here since last week, and when they were told to come back this week, and they are here with their wards and are yet to be, their problems are yet to be resolved.
And I know you've been speaking to some parents. Are you able to tell us what they told you?
Yes, so I've spoken to a couple of parents, and one of them actually complained of her ward being a special needs, like she has some ailments, and her ward has been placed in a different region and given day school, boarding school, and then she wants the boarding school to be changed to day school, and then she has explained that to the authorities at the center, and then they haven't been able to resolve that issue for her, and so she was lamenting bitterly. We also spoke to another parent who actually works with national security, and he complained of leaving his post for several days, and he's been here with his ward trying to resolve a change of the ward's placement from a B grade school to an A grade school, given that the ward performed well, and then that hasn't been resolved either. So there's been a lot of frustration here at the center. More people are trooping in, and the authorities are also trying to work with the numbers.
And we'll hear from the parents shortly, but at the moment, what can you tell us? Would you say that things are progressing smoothly?
At the moment, some are being attended to, yes, and some are still on standby. We spoke earlier, just a few minutes ago, to the deputy coordinator, Madam Dr. Belinda, of the GES Senior Teachers Secretariat, and she lamented, she was complaining that most parents who come to the center are looking to change their award results from placement from B grade schools to A grade schools without the necessary or the needed required results to back it. So it's been a challenge. They're trying to explain to the parents that they cannot go to the Achimotors and the Prefects with results that do not match.
Thank you very much, Noura Mohammed, who is our reporter currently monitoring situation at the Solution Centers for parents who have yet to find a placement for their children and guardians for the awards. Let's listen to some of them who spoke to us earlier.
She's 15. The school she chose, they didn't even give her one. They sent her to Ho as a day student. I mean, a 15-year-old child cannot be on her own. And I can't leave that child to live there vulnerably. Already under my eyes, I need to keep, eyes on her. How much more I leave her to go and be on her own and go to school.
Me base when you a grade 10. Mama for a school fourth choice. But nako to Kumasi echi.
My child had aggregate 10 and was given his fourth choice in the Ashanti region. The process is frustrating.
St. John's, I want to say in the grade in the 10, no, St. John's, oh, yeah.
My school placement in the third choice school, demand STEM school. By one and no permanent, so me per day, and no ya STEM academy, new school, mercy. Like space or how, being a macro school. Almost a member has said, I had no betting at placing. The buyers almost once school on the amano. A yen to sweet or meeting me day ain't changing. But a crown or special case a meeting or asthmatic meeting man and call far place. And see me hope you send come bet me up one.
Let me first say I'm highly disappointed. The reason being that with this placement issue started over a decade ago. We should have learned something from this. We are still repeating the same mistakes. I have to be at the workplace, but see where I am today, just because I want to make a simple correction. I've been here 6 months. I was here yesterday. The last time I was here, nothing has been done. I've not been attended to. So I'm asking, what is going on? When are we going to learn to make corrections to what we've been doing in the past, which all of us know is not proper? And that's my worry. So instead of being at the workplace, I'm here. I've not been attended to. I have to be here. I don't know when I'm supposed to leave here. Whether I have to come back here again tomorrow, I don't know.
And you have some frustrated parents yet to find placement for their children. Meanwhile, the Executive Director of the Institute for Education Studies, Dr. Peter Adu, has called for a redesigning of the school placement system in order to permanently address the concerns confronting parents.
Yes, there are challenges with fairness and transparency and other issue of protocol, but 90% of the problem is 90% of the challenge is the fact that students will select a school hoping that they will do well and therefore they will be picked in that particular school. When they write the exams and there's a discrepancy between their performance and the school that they are selected, it ends up in a total chaos, and that is why we need to step back and then redesign how we do this computer placement system. I think that we need to go with a model whereby we select schools based on your performance. So you see your performance, and then based on that, you know the schools that you can select. The other things will be trying to increase the number of first-class schools, or what we call category A schools, because over the years we have had about 70 category A schools, so we cannot continue to work with that.
And you have Dr. Peter Adu. He is Executive Director of IFES, the Institute for Education Studies. In his first public remarks since his nomination as Chief Justice, the newly nominated Chief Justice, Justice Paul Bafuboni, has pledged to run an open administration and deepen collaboration between the bench and the bar. He made the call when leadership of the Ghana Bar Law Society paid a courtesy call on him today in Accra. My colleague Noble Crosby Annan was there Atuda. He joins us live on the phone. Crosby, was this or what was this courtesy call all about, if you could tell us?
Well, the courtesy call by the Ghana Law Society essentially was for the management of the society to introduce themselves to the newly nominated Chief Justice, as well as congratulate him on his nomination and wish him all the best. Well, while they spoke with him, Ibrahim Maliba of the NDC, he was full of praises for the man, saying that so far, since he acted as Chief Justice, they have begun to see some reformations and progress in the administration of justice or in the work of the judiciary in the country. But essentially, the visit was to do these things, introduce themselves to him, and then wish him well.
And I know that the newly nominated CJ also, aside from welcoming them, promised to run an open administration. What more can you tell us before we hear him directly?
Well, exactly. So while they were engaging amongst themselves, the CJ was very emphatic of the need for justice delivery, and the essence for the establishment of the judiciary was to make justice available for all who are seeking justice. And he said that he's going to work with all the members of the judiciary. He's going to work with all relevant stakeholders to ensure that the judiciary, is. So exactly that's what they've been saying.
I told my brother here, my brothers who know me, that I'm going to run a very open administration. Fortunately, I have, because of the length of time that I've been here, I have very personal relationships with a lot of the members of the judiciary. So I know I'm going to work with them. They are going to cooperate with me. But as I said, the judiciary, the bench needs the bar. And so we are excited that you have also pledged to support the judiciary and its intendments. And then at the end of the day, it is justice for the people that we all seek after.
And he had the newly nominated Chief Justice Paul Bafuboni. Noble Kosbianan is still on the line with us. Noble, we know that the Ghana Law Society is party to the suit filed by Dapia Mapo and another individual. Did that issue come up?
Yes, it did, Beatrice. And in fact, it was addressed by Justice Gabriel Scott Kwame, who is chair of the 5-member committee that investigated the. So what he's saying is that this suit is a new suit, and the intention to pay a courtesy call, or the letter to pay a courtesy call on the Chief Justice, happened way before this suit came. So the cases are in no way linked. The visit is not linked to the broader case or the broader desire of the Ghana Law Society, which is a party to this case that you mentioned. So essentially, it has no bearing whatsoever. A courtesy call that's been paid on the nominated Chief Justice by the Ghana Law Society, but not in any way affecting the broader case before the Supreme Court.
Thank you very much, Noble Crosbyan. And that suit is actually challenging what the petitioners call monopoly of the Ghana Bar Association, seeking the Supreme Court intervention to take that quote-unquote exclusive description regarding the Ghana Bar Association and its role regarding the legal fraternity. Now, human rights NGO Challenging Height is calling on the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection to take urgent action in the case of a severely abused 3-year-old girl who is currently fighting for her life at the Trauma and Specialist Hospital in Winneba. In a strongly worded petition dated the 23rd of September, the organization urged the Honourable Minister to ensure swift justice for the child who suffered life-threatening injuries after her stepmother allegedly poured boiling water into her vagina as punishment for bedwetting. The petition also said that the suspected perpetrator, identified as Madam Akaina, a Liberian national residing in Winneba, has reportedly fled the country, leaving the child in critical condition. While the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit, DOFSO of the Ghana Police Service, has arrested the girl's father, efforts to apprehend the primary suspect appear to have stalled. Let's speak to the Director of Programs, Enoch Derry Pufa. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon, Beatrice, and good afternoon to your listeners.
Quite an unfortunate situation, and your statement indeed says that this heinous act, as it were, has left the child with life-threatening injuries. Can you update us on the health status of the 3-year-old?
Okay, thank you. And you are right. This is a very serious harm that has been done to the little girl. What I can say is that the mother informed us that she was supposed to undergo a surgery on Wednesday. That's yesterday. So we are yet to contact her today to find out if the surgery has taken place. But that is the update so far as the recovery of the little girl is concerned.
But beyond her health, also you're making some demands in your of the gender minister in your press statement. Are you able to just enlighten us on those?
Okay, so basically, we are urging the gender minister, the honorable minister, to use this as an opportunity to address the rising abuse of children nationally by publicly condemning this act, and then basically also supporting the resourcing of the key national institutions like DOSU and then the social welfare. We are asking, secondly, that the minister we use a good office to liaise with the foreign affairs, the Interpol and other relevant national and international bodies to trigger a cross-border investigation that will lead to the arrest and then the possible extraditing of the suspects, or the woman who is believed to have perpetrated the act, Madam Akaina, back to Ghana to face prosecution. And these are the key demands that we are, the key requests that we are placing before the Honorable Minister. We don't want this matter to be one of those issues that we talk about for a week and it dies off. This is too barbaric, this is too heinous a crime, and it's so much for a little girl to suffer this and justice not be served. So we want this to be on the banner of child protection in terms of national discourse. We want this to remain on the national level, and we are urging the minister to use her good offices to add her voice by condemning it, by triggering the various relevant bodies to go into the matter in terms of investigation, leading to the arrest of the lady.
Indeed. And beyond that, when you say that there is a rising abuse of children, are you able to tell us what the statistics say?
Yes, so from where we operate, in most of our operational districts and regions that we work in the central region, we are in the central region, parts of Greater Accra, in the Savannah and all that. I can tell you that we received reports of similar nature. And what is even worrying is the unreported cases, the number of unreported cases, those that don't get to this level. We are fortunate to have gotten wind of it and tried highlighting it. But I can tell you that a lot of things are happening at the community level, at the district level, that are not reported. And that is more worrying. If you look at it, if you are referring only to the statistics and maybe number of cases, it may mislead you. But let's look at the community level issues, the organizations that are community based and receive such reports. There is a growing trend of that in the country. I was speaking with the DOSU commander, and she confirmed that she has received other cases of child abuse within the same municipality within a short period. And so it is indeed a worrying issue for us. And I think we must all come to the rescue of our children as duty bearers as irrespective of whichever space we find ourselves, whether you are in the media, I am in the NGO and CSO space, we should use our various spaces to continue to advocate, to educate people, to sensitize people on the need to act always in the best interest of children.
Thank you very much, sir, for speaking to us.
Thank you.
And you had Enoch Derry Pufon. He is Director of Programs at Challenging Height, which is a human rights NGO. Now, Land and Natural Resources Minister Emmanuel Kofi Amaboa has announced the government's intention to designate all major water bodies and forest reserves in the country as security zones as part of efforts to clamp down on illegal mining. The move, according to the minister, is aimed at giving state security agencies greater authority to protect such areas from encroachment and environmental destruction. But the announcement has triggered debate among environmental activists, security experts among others. What exactly does it mean to declare a location a security zone, and how would this affect livelihoods, local communities, and enforcement of mining laws? And so security consultant, he is actually fraud and security consultant Richard Kumado. He's actually shared his views on this, and he says that when we talk about declaration of a security zone, there are emerging threats, attacks leading to violence, and the spread of a national pandemic, specified locations and particular places, mostly affected areas or territories. When we say that they be declared by local or national authority as a security zone to help curtail or prevent further damages or chaos, it says it is imperative to note that the predominant priority action mostly in a security zone, unless otherwise stated, is security operations and related activities. It is highly expected that all occupants in the security zones are participants or observers and must conform to strict control protocols. Nonetheless, occupants may be allowed to move out of the declared security zone by permission within specific time period, or else non-adherence of the underlying control protocols, non-conformity and non-compliance may lead to levels of dreadful discomfort, casualties or fatalities, and saying beware and be warned. So that was Richard Kumado, a security consultant, in his thought in that short piece. But let's listen to the exact words of the Land and Natural Resources Minister Emmanuel Kofi Amaboa when he made that statement.
The government has the power at its disposal to take steps to deal with this. And I think that if you had listened to me comprehensively, one is the policy reform, one is the stakeholder engagement, one is to deal with the water, one is to strengthen enforcement. All of these things that I'm talking about, why did we establish the Blue Water Guards? And now, just in the last week or so, the president has made it very clear that we are moving a step that says that all the water bodies and the forest reserves are going to be national security zones. You know what that means? Stress on no-go. And we are now preparing to deploy permanent security forces in these areas.
The water guards?
No, the water guard has been the first step. We've already trained 1,000. We are training more. We've deployed to the western, north. And they are making serious impact. What I'm saying is that the level of destruction that this new government came to meet, we are under no illusion that this is going to be solved in 8 months. But we are proud of what we are doing. We are seeing the progress. And at every time when we believe we have to strengthen what we are doing, we do. And that's exactly the point I'm making.
And you heard Emmanuel Kofi Amaboa. He is the Minister for Land and Natural Resources. In a related development, the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana has warned that illegal mining is no longer just an environmental crisis, but a full-blown health emergency threatening the nation's pharmaceutical sovereignty. The caution came to light during the 89th annual meeting of the society in Cape Coast, where members revealed that the country's already fragile pharmaceutical sector is in serious danger as locally manufactured medicines are at risk of quality compromise due to the widespread water contamination from illegal mining affected communities affecting pharmaceutical production. Let's listen to Dr. Samuel Ko-Donko with the association.
Illegal small-scale mining and its accompanying environmental devastation is undeniably affecting the healthcare of many individuals. Waterways contaminated with mercury and cyanide, lead, copper, and various heavy metals. These environmental crimes have severe health consequences, including waterborne diseases, dermatological disorders, respiratory illnesses, and heavy metal poisoning. However, the impact of galamsey extends beyond immediate health concerns to threaten our pharmaceutical sovereignty. Ghana currently depends on 70% of its medicines from imports. The locally produced medicines require quality water for production, especially infusion manufacturing. When our water treatment plant shuts down due to galamsey-related pollution, we would face a catastrophic scenario. And we will not only import our medicines, but we would completely collapse the pharmaceutical industry, local pharmaceutical industry. To put it in perspective, to manufacture IV infusions, where Ghanaians, we want to achieve full sovereignty, where every infusion we produce in Ghana, the cost of the filters, the membranes, the deionization programs, the atomic absorption chromatography, and all that is impacting heavily on them.
And you had the president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana, Dr. Samuel Ko-Donko. We stay on issues related to health because Ghana has confirmed 18 more new cases of Mpox, bringing the total confirmed cases to 583. The situational report from the Ghana Health Service indicates that as of the 20th of September 2025, 2 persons are on admission, while death toll also remains 2. All 16 regions are recording cases where the disease hotspot being Western North and the Greater Accra regions. Ghana is, however, awaiting the arrival of some 33,000 Mpox vaccines, which is expected to complement the government effort in managing the disease outbreak. Mpox spreads mainly through close contact with an infected person. The general public is encouraged to stop the spread by reporting symptoms such as fever, rash, swollen lymph nodes, or body aches to the nearest health facility. In a separate development, the Ghana Medical Trust Fund Secretariat, popularly known as Mahama Cares, has begun a nationwide needs assessment to directly identify the pressing needs in the various health facilities. The tour is also to assess the shortage of specialists and foster a collaboration that ensures help goes exactly where it's needed most, particularly for patients battling chronic illnesses like cancer, diabetes, and kidney failure. And I'll bring you more on this in our subsequent bulletins. And before we go, the medical superintendent of Elibo Government Hospital, Dr. Zakaria Musa, is lamenting the refusal of nurses to accept postings to Elibo and a severe lack of accommodation already affecting the facility's administration. Rama Smith has the rest of the story.
The Elibo Government Hospital, commissioned in 2023 with 65 beds and state-of-the-art equipment, was envisioned as a healthcare lifeline for the Jomoro municipality. However, its corridors today are eerily quiet. The problem isn't a lack of need, but a severe shortage of staff. With a capacity for 120 personnel, the hospital operates with just 45 nurses, highlighting the vast disparity between its potential and reality. Briefing the Western Regional Minister, Joseph Nelson, about their challenges, the medical superintendent, Dr. Zakaria Musa, stated 2 key challenges as hindering progress: nurses' reluctance to accept postings and a critical shortage of accommodation.
Rama Smith filed that report from the Western region. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Log on to 3news.com for more news. Have a good afternoon.
FM 92.7, Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Business Daily on 3FM 92.7. Coming up, Forbes ranks cedi fourth strongest currency in Africa as it appreciates 21% against the dollar. And Food and Beverages Association of Ghana, FABAC, calls for a single-digit policy rate.
Look at other jurisdictions, we have policy rates at 5%, 6%. We are not there.
The Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, SAMSI, warns that rising electricity tariffs could threaten Ghanaian industry's competitiveness.
Most of our industries, holding other factors constant, may not be very competitive.
I'm Esinu Aja, who will bring you details of our headlines and other stories shortly. Now, the cedi has been ranked the fourth strongest currency among Africa's top 10 for the month of September, according to Forbes currency data. The strong performance has seen the cedi appreciate by 21% against the dollar year to date. It reflects improved market confidence and effective economic policies. There is more in the following 3 Business News Desk reports.
The cedi's resilience has been a key driver of positive economic indicators. The firm exchange rate has helped to ease inflationary pressures, with headline inflation dropping to 11.5% in August 2025, the lowest it's been since October 2021. In response to this price stability, the Bank of Ghana has lowered its benchmark interest rate to 21.5%, signaling growing confidence in the economy's direction. A strong cedi directly benefits Ghanaians and businesses by reducing the cost of imported goods, including food, medicine, and capital equipment. This not only eases the cost of living, but also boosts business competitiveness. The cedi's performance places it behind the Tunisian dinar, which is ranked first, the Libyan dinar ranked second, and the Moroccan dirham, which ranked third. For countries with significant foreign-denominated debt, a firm currency like the cedi is especially important as it lowers the cost of servicing that debt. This frees up government funds that can be reallocated to vital sectors like infrastructure, healthcare, and education, contributing to long-term national development.
To more stories, the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana says, although efforts by the central bank to reduce the policy rate is commendable, a single digit for them is more ideal. Their cause follows the Bank of Ghana's latest rate cut, a move economist Dr. Eric Boakye-Yadom also welcomes, but warns must be guided by strict measures to avert a downturn.
At its 126th Monetary Policy Committee meeting, the central bank lowered the policy rate from 25% to 21.5%, citing easing inflation and the need to to support growth. This follows an earlier cut in July, bringing total reductions this year to 650 basis points, one of the steepest in recent years. For the Food and Beverages Association, the cut is welcoming, but not enough.
Look at other jurisdictions, we have policy rates at 5%, 6%. We are not there. So if we continue to go even below the 20% mark, that makes a lot of sense and cost of borrowing will drop.
Economist Dr. Beatrice Adu agrees that the cut reflects progress made through the central bank's interventions, but he says the benefit must trickle down to the ordinary Ghanaian, calling for closer collaboration between the Bank of Ghana and the commercial banks to ensure lending rates truly ease.
I expect that the policy rate cut will not stay at the top there, but it will trickle down to the ordinary borrower. There should be a continuous engagement between the BOG and the bankers or the Ghana Banking Association to ensure that banks are also able to assess their risk to reduce their lending rates to their customers.
The Bank of Ghana says it remains committed to balancing growth with price stability, noting that any future rate changes will depend on inflation outlook and broader economic conditions.
Right, that was Benjamin Insia. Now to more stories. Ghanaian industries risk losing their competitive edge if electricity tariffs continue to rise. That's a warning from the Executive Director for the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, Benjamin Insia. Speaking to 3 Business, he says the latest 1.14% hike announced by the PURC will raise production cost and make it harder for local firms to compete at home and abroad.
The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission has announced a 1.14% increase in electricity tariffs effective October 1. The Commission says the move is necessary to maintain service delivery and reflects prevailing cost. But the Executive Director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, Benjamin Insia, warns that the decision could have a negative ripple effect through the economy, with households and industries bearing the brunt.
If wages remain constant at the household level, savings are going to contract because savings will now be rechanneled into paying for utilities. With respect to industries, cost of operations are going to go high. Most of our industries, holding other factors constant, may not be very competitive, especially with respect to their output, may not be competitive either locally or on the external market. And that may also lead to cuts on employment.
Insia also questions the fairness of the tariff adjustment. He argues that the PURC's resolution contradicts the very act that empowers it, insisting the Commission must act in ways that protect and not burden consumers.
When there is over-recovery or windfall as a result of the appreciation of the cedi against the dollar, the electricity end user is not made to benefit from this particular windfall or over recovery. However, when there is an under recovery, the electricity end user is made to pay for it. I think that's not fairness, and that goes contrary to the act that established, which is the 538 that established PURC. They must be fair, balanced in favor of both utilities as well as electricity end users locally.
That was Benjamin Insia, the Executive Director for SEMSI. Meanwhile, the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, is urging micro, small and medium enterprises in Ghana to adopt the Kaizen approach, not only to improve operational efficiency, but also as a strategic tool for cutting cost. Kaizen, a Japanese philosophy which means continuous improvement, promotes small incremental changes that enhance productivity, quality and workplace culture.
Rooted in lean management principles, Kaizen encourages employee participation, data-led decision-making, and a mindset of ongoing refinement. For SMEs, it offers a practical and cost-effective path to growth. By streamlining processes, reducing waste, and empowering staff to drive innovation, businesses can improve customer satisfaction, lower expenses, and respond more nimbly to market shifts. Suzuki Momoko is the JICA chief representative, and she spoke at the Ghana National Kaizen Awards.
Kaizen is not something that requires a large investment. It begins with what you already have. It empowers enterprises to refine operations, optimize resources, and improve product and service quality. And more importantly, it is a people-centered approach which fosters a culture of ownership and engagement and autonomous growth among employees, contributing to a more dignified and productive workplace.
The chief executive of the Ghana Enterprises Agency, Margaret Ansay, praised local businesses already applying Kaizen principles, describing them as shining examples of innovation and resilience across the continent.
In 2021, Francis Aluminium brought home the African Kaizen Awards. In 2023, Tiwajo Enterprise proudly carried Ghana's flag once more. And last year, Solutions Oasis engaged as our national winner. These achievements demonstrate a simple truth. Our enterprises are not merely competing locally. They are setting benchmarks for Africa.
That was Margaret Ansai, CEO of the Ghana Enterprises Agency. That will be all for Business Daily on 3FM 92.7. For more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. I am Esinu Aja.